Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back. So I had this really weird scenario happen to me yesterday at the fire station.
Was that a sexual scenario?
No, but when you listen to it, you'll I don't know. It was very weird. We went on a call at like 10:45 or 11 o'clock, somewhere in that time frame. And it was both the engine and the ambulance went on this call. And it was a trouble breathing call. So the ambulance is going to transport. We're there for basically manpower. And we get everything taken care of at the call. We come back to the station. We pull back into the station at like 11:30. Back into the bay. I get out. I go up to shut the bay door. And as I'm shutting the bay door, this woman walks up through the bay door. And I was just like, oh, hello, can I help you with something? And she's like, yeah, do you... And this is a woman, she's probably in her mid-20s, somewhere in there. Like, not, young, attractive girl walks in. And I was just like, can I help you with something? And she's like, yeah, can I have, like, a cot or something to sleep on?
What?
And I was like, I'm
No.
sorry? And she goes... yeah, do you guys give out cots to sleep on? I just need a place to sleep for the night.
Isn't there homeless shelters for this sort of thing?
Well, and I'm looking, she didn't look homeless at all. I'm not saying that all people who are homeless look homeless, but, she did not fit your typical, the visual of a homeless person. She was like, looked very well kept. She's holding car keys in her hand. She's holding like a nice purse, well dressed. And
This is very strange things already.
Well,
okay.
And I was like, is something wrong? And she was like, well, no, my ex-boyfriend's just been bothering me a lot lately, and I can't go back to my house, and I just need a place to stay. And, in D.C., I thought that they, gave out cots to people who need them when they need a place to stay. And I was like, well, no, unfortunately, like... we don't do that, and we can't do that. Like, I'm not allowed to just invite somebody from the public in to sleep at the fire station. It's like completely against our policy, and insurance, I'm sure, would like be insane if like.
I mean, you're not even up to fire code.
Yeah, that's true. The room that I sleep in is not up to fire code. Unfortunately, this hot young chick can't go sleep in my room with me. That would be completely illegal. And I was like, is like your ex-boyfriend, he's bothering you? I was like, does he live with you? And she said, well, no, he used to like a while ago, but now he's like stalking me. I'm like, do you need me to like call the police so you can talk to the police? And at this point, like the other people on the engine, they had started to walk in. They didn't realize that somebody was walking in the front because I was just going to shut the bay door. And somebody heard me say something about police and looked over and realized I'm talking to somebody that they were like, where did this person come from? So they both walked over and they're like, everything okay? And I'm like, I don't know. Hold on a second. I'm just trying to talk to this young lady and find out what's going on. I'm trying to keep things all like relaxed and, is she crazy? Is she homeless? Like, is she on drugs? Like, what really is happening right now?
Right.
And I was like, I can... kind of go see if we can find like a list of shelters or someplace you can stay. I was like, do you have any friends that you need to call? And she's like, no, I have a phone on me. I can get a hold of people. And I was like, okay, do you have a car? Because I'm looking at the keys in her hand. And she's like, yeah, my car's outside. They're just parked over on the side. She goes, I've been driving for days because I just can't go back to my house. And I'm like, this is like days. That's what she said, days. And I said, oh, do you live in D.C. then? Because she had mentioned the D.C., fire departments apparently letting people sleep there, which I'm not sure if that's true or not. I have no idea. I've never asked them. And she's like, no, I'm from, and she says a town that's literally the town next to where we're at. So meaning if there was a call in that place, I would still go to it as like the second due, like from my fire station. So we're talking like 5 minutes down the road.
Why has she been driving for days?
Well, and that's, I was so confused, and I was like, I don't, I'm sorry. I really, like, there's not anything I can do for you unless you want to, talk to the police. Are you sure you don't want me to, call the police just so you can, let them know what's going on? I was like, obviously not to get you in trouble, but, no, I did, no, definitely not. Okay, thank you. And she just walks away. So I was like, you know, the two people that came up to me, they were like, that was really weird. And I was like, yeah, absolutely that was weird. So I don't know what was going on. So we walked into the other side of the fire station, and I don't remember what we were getting, and I looked out the window, and I realized that she's in a car parked on the side of the building. Like, there's parking spots over there, but they're for, like, the president and the chief and all this stuff. She's parked in one of those spots, and she just gets in her car, and she's just sitting in her car. So we watched her for like 15 minutes, just sitting there in her car.
Hell?
And so I went to to a computer, and I started compiling a list of homeless shelters that I could find in the area, battered women's shelters, and anything I could find that could like potentially be something for her to, you know, be able to go to. So this is another 15 or 20 minutes or whatever goes by. And I go back over to that other side, and I look out the window. She's still sitting there. So I walk out to her car, and I was just like, you know, she rolls down the window all like, you know, without a problem. I was just like stood next to the car, and I, you know, looked, and she rolls the window down, and I'm like, you know, here's a list of, you know, shelters if you're looking for a place to stay. You know, you might want to call one of these shelters. And she's like, oh, okay, thanks, and just doesn't even look at it and like folds it up. And I was like, so, I mean, do you have any place to go? And she's like, well, no, every place I go to, I'm pretty sure my ex-boyfriend put a tracker on my car because everywhere I go, he just keeps showing up to. And I was like, okay.
God, this story's going to end up like the hiccup story. I'm preparing myself for this.
And then she fell asleep, and I never.
Yeah, and then, you know, I went home.
And I was like, well, my shift's over. See you later. No, because this is early in the night. So I was like, do you have like an iPhone or something like that on you that has like, you know, the Find My iPhone app installed that he has access to or something? And she's like, well, yeah. And I was worried that he might have been using that. So I left that one at home, and I have a different phone on me now, but he still keeps finding me. And I was like, has he found you here yet? And she goes, no, not yet, but I keep looking because I'm worried he's about to pull up any minute. And I was like, you know, how you know, long ago were you guys together? Oh, it's been a few years.
Jesus.
And I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now? So I can't figure out what to do for her. I'm just like, are you sure you don't want me to call the police? And she's like, no, you know, I definitely don't want you to call the police. Like, I don't want to talk to the police. And I'm like, okay, I mean, feel free to sit in the parking lot like all you want. I'm really sorry that I can't give you a place to stay, but you really should call those shelters that I gave you. And I'm just noticing that she hasn't looked at them yet. So, and she's like, I just need a place to sleep. That's all I need. And I'm like, you know, you need to call those shelters then. And she just doesn't look at the piece of paper. I was like, so you do have a phone on you and it's charged, right? And she's like, yes. And I was like, okay, I want to make sure I gave you something you actually have the ability to call right now, and not just, you know, give you something and be like, call this, see you later, I know you don't have a phone. I'm like, do you have gas in your car? Because she opened the window, and it was cold last night. So she opened the window, and the heat like blew out the car. So she had the car on in heat, but she was still like shivering. So I can't tell.
Like in shock or something.
Well,
right?
yeah, is she tired? Is she on drugs? Is she just in shock of the situation that's going on? So I didn't know what else to do. So what I ended up doing is I called the police and told them to, you know, in a non-emergency fashion, can you send a female officer over and explain to them the situation? I said, just talk to her. I don't know what's going on. I can't like make her go to the hospital. And they're like, okay. So they sent an officer over who talked to her, and she ended up leaving the parking lot after they talked to her. And I guess she told them pretty much the same story. So it's not like the story was changing, but I guess she told them that she lived with her dad, yet her address was like her mom's house or something. So they were really confused at what was going on. And I don't know. What would you do in that situation?
I mean, I'm single. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, that's the thing too, is like and this is gonna sound really bad, but firefighters, we always joke around about stupid stuff like that. And earlier in the night, one of the other guys, every time somebody would say something about like a female friend, whether it be a woman or a man that was like talking the story, he would just be like, so is she hot? And she'd be like, no, like, she's a friend of my mother's. And he'd be like, oh, okay, so is your mom hot? Like, just, you know, stupid things like that. And of course, he happened to be there after all this happened. And he's like, so, was she hot? You know, that's like exactly what he says. He's just being stupid. He's not being like right, serious. But the answer would be yes. She was like very attractive. And it was the most confusing situation because had she not come to my fire station, had it been another person that answered the door, because firemen can be pigs for sure. There is a few people who are in higher up positions that would have been like, oh yeah, come on in, we'll give you a place to stay for the night. I can guarantee. Really? Oh, I guarantee there would have been some of those people. I'm not saying that they would have done anything against the person's will, but they would have taken the situation to be like, hey, like this could turn out good for multiple of us here. I mean, I don't mean like multiple of them like a gang rape. I mean like, you know, oh my god, I mean like multiple worse. As in like her and some other person, you know, type of deal. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think you could have done anything differently than what you did, though. In my honest answer, like, what the fuck? I mean, I wonder. I don't know. It's just not a lot of information either. It's like you really don't know what the fuck was going on. Right. Well, and you know what's funny is I wanted them to send a female officer because I figured she'd be more comfortable talking to another female if it was like problems with, you know, the boyfriend or whatnot. And of course the person that they sent happened to be one of those female officers who's more like, hey, look, I'm the law, like, deal with it, like, suck it up, what's going on? If you're not going to talk to me, then get on with your life and move out of here. Like, as opposed to being like, I was hoping somebody compassionate to come and try to find out what was going on. Yeah. Like, I was way more compassionate. I'm not saying the officer did anything wrong. I was just hoping it would be like a more right. Relaxed, let's try to, you know, get to the bottom of this. Not that that's an officer's job, you know, it's not their job to be a counselor. But did you see that video? Did you see the cop that shot the guy in the hallway in the hotel? I don't know if I saw that one. He was acquitted this last weekend. There was a lot of cops acquitted this last weekend. Then there was one guy who was actually put in jail for significant amount of time. Really? For one of the traffic stop ones. Oh shit! I left the light on up there. God, this video, I should know. I wish I hadn't even watched this damn video. Why? They're just yelling at this guy. And this is it the one where they made him crawl? Yeah. I didn't watch the video. I read a news story on it, and I heard it was pretty terrible. Like, they made this dude crawl, and then he reached down to, like, pick up his pants or whatever because he was just crawling across the floor, and his pants, like, slid down, and that's when they shot him, saying he was reaching for a gun. Yep. Yep. Yeah. It was real bad. Like, the guy was just a total fucking... The guy that was yelling the commands was just a total dick. Like, and the guy was just, I mean, I don't know. So the call was that that they. But by the way, I do want to say in my story, I'm not saying that this officer did anything wrong or inappropriate. By the way, I was just hoping for more compassion. I just want to make that clear as we get into police brutality and excessive use of force. You broke up, so I don't know what you were making clear. Oh, I was making clear that the officer in my story, I was not saying was inappropriate or did anything wrong. I was just hoping they would be more compassionate. As we're about to start talking about police brutality and excessive force, that is not what I was insinuating in my story. I am making that very clear. Showed up and hit her in the head. You used to getting beat on. Yeah. Oh God, why am I laughing? That's terrible. No, yeah, like, so the girl, the call was that that they had the gun had been seen in the hotel window. I don't know if this was after the Vegas stuff went down. I feel like it's not if the cop trial is being done. Yeah, I don't believe it was. I believe it was before the Vegas stuff. Right. Didn't it happen sometime last year? I mean, I would believe that. Like, it was. Yeah, because again, if the cop's trial is done now, then there's but yeah, so they get him out of the hotel room, and there's just constantly yelling at them to follow the directions, and the directions aren't very clear either. Like, lock your legs and like
like put and like it's like lean up, but like your body doesn't even want to like do that. So like the guy was trying his damnedest to do what the cop said, and the cop just kept yelling, "If you do not follow my directions to the T, I will kill you." And like it was just, I don't know, it was just crazy.
And he was actually acquitted though.
Yeah.
I wonder on the grounds of what.
Apparently, the motion that the guy made could appear as if he was going to grab a concealed weapon. Which, you know, I watched the video. It could have done that. I mean, it's one of those fucked up things that the kid obviously just wasn't thinking whenever he went to pull his pants up. Obviously, you should just fucking let your pants fall on the ground and be naked everywhere before you're gonna try to grab your pants. But you know, the situation was very secured. Like they had the woman out. They had made the woman crawled over, and then the man was on the ground, and there was a whole shitload of cops. Like they could have went up and handcuffed this man that was already on the ground and brought him over and not murdered him. But instead they chose to murder him. So I don't know. It was just a shitty video. I wish I hadn't even watched it.
Yeah, it's like the one that the traffic stop where the guy who had a gun, who was announcing that he had a gun when he got pulled over, and he ended up getting killed. And the one woman started live streaming on Facebook right after it happened.
Yeah,
that was one that was so weird because as it was happening, and I can't remember if the second video came out during the trial or not, but all you literally saw was this Facebook Live video of what happened after the fact. And everybody's all up in arms, but you really had no proof of anything of the way things had gone down until it was done.
Right.
And then later, that video came out of the police dash cam footage that pretty much showed that what the female was saying was accurate. Like, he was complying, he announced he had the weapon, he didn't go for it, he was just, you know, it's telling them they had it so that they knew, and then they backed up and started shooting him. And but it's such a strange topic because just because that Facebook Live video had come out and everybody was like, oh my God, police brutality. I'm like, you don't know what happened in this video. You can't start yelling that. And it's kind of a shame that it turned out it was like true, because now it's just going to be any little like suggestion of police brutality.
Well, it's kind of like that. What happened in your front yard that one day, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. I'm surprised. I'm so surprised they never came and got a statement from me about that. But
I think it's because they like your stuff could be. I mean, yeah, like they already have their own cameras and stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean that's true. I mean, and as long as they had their own cameras,
they worse basically.
Yeah, they would have been absolutely fine if they had their own cameras, and maybe they realized that hey, we don't need him. But yeah, that's exactly what it is. Is like. That woman pulled up on something she had no idea what was going on and decided it was police brutality because she was there in the middle of it. And it's a shame because then we see all these things that truly are police brutality, and it makes you sick that people are getting acquitted when this clear evidence shows that this was a very fucked up situation that should never have happened like that. And
the video too was not allowed to be shown in court.
Why?
So,
how?
I don't know.
How? It's a murder trial.
Right. Yeah.
Let's not show the video of the murder taking place.
Right.
Did they explain why? Like,
I didn't read why. I was after I watched the video, I was just like kind of sick about the whole thing. It was just watched a guy get murdered while someone was yelling at him over and over that I'm going to murder you, basically.
You should be able to have every piece of evidence possible used in any crime
yeah, I don't know,
especially Alexa.
Why? Yeah, Alexa, exactly. Yeah.
I actually just read an article about Alexa that was trying to demystify the fact that everybody says that it's spying on you at all times. But the funny thing is, it didn't have any proof either way. It was utilizing the fact that they said they didn't want to release those in that murder case that we talked about. They didn't want to release the footage because they said it didn't really exist. I guess what I didn't know about that is Amazon, after the fact, the lawyers stopped arguing about it and said, fine, we'll release what we have, because they really didn't have anything, because it really doesn't record that stuff. But then you really don't know. Like, how can they prove that you gave them everything that they were asking for at the same time.
Right.
So you always have that situation.
Did you watch the Game of the Year awards?
No, I saw some. What was the article I read? It was very strange. It was explaining why a specific game could not be the Game of the Year. That's all I saw in it.
What game was it?
I don't remember.
Zelda apparently is the game.
Oh, I think it was
year.
PUBG.
Oh, why could
Was
PUBG
it
not be the
PUBG?
Game of the Year?
I don't remember.
It won something. I don't remember what now. Best
But-
multiplayer game, I think is what it was.
But was it good? I've never even heard of Game of the Year awards, but
I never watch them. I was just wondering if you did.
nope.
What would your game of this last year be?
Minecraft. Of the last year, see, my problem is I'm thinking more like 2 or 3 years ago. I really think like Spelunky and FTL are two of my all-time favorites. Still, I have not played new games
Right.
in quite a while, so I wouldn't be able to tell you what new game. I would bet you, did Stardew Valley come out this year? Or was
Yeah,
that
it
the year
did.
before?
No, yeah, I think this year was started.
I would think that that was one that'd be up there on the list. Well, I guess if do they deal with AAA titles as well? Is this all
Yeah,
games? Because I was just
it's all
thinking,
games.
I was thinking indie
I mean, yeah, 'cause, like,
game
Zelda
aspect
was
for
on
some
there.
reason.
You're thinking of what?
Indie games for some odd reason was the mentality that I had.
No. It's any game. Because again, Zelda won. That's a AAA.
Okay, my dark room is actually working because I hear things in it, but nothing's ever falling off of the pads or making it down. Oh my god, I blocked it off.
Hear an old witch in there.
Yeah, but there's a creeper sitting over there, but I forgot I had blocked it off when I was digging so that if they started spawning, nothing would come kill me. And I left it blocked off.
Do you notice how I lit it up over here? So you'd stop dying.
Oh, did you? No, I wasn't paying attention. It was kind of the fun for me. I was like, oh, the death. Yeah, there's not a super amount in here. And I don't know what I'm going to do about spiders.
Kill 'em.
Oh my god. I just... There we go. Oh, I left a chest in here, though, too. Did you just cover me up?
Nah.
It took me a minute to like realize what happened. I was like, did I get covered? Why do I have a bubble meter here? Like, what's going on right now? Okay, so now I got the hole opened up here. It's only 2 layers right now too, but it was a fun little project.
Do you have a way to where the mobs are going?
Yeah, so over here. Down here. The problem is there are creepers in there right now.
Yeah, you should make it the killer out of obsidian or something, right?
Oh yeah, probably. I don't even know if they're going to be a one-hit kill because it's... Hi, witch. Definitely not a one-hit kill. She just
Not
got
even a
that
two-hit
guy.
kill.
She hit herself?
She hit me.
I can't even get her to die.
She's drinking potions.
Got her. She's dead. Now the question is, I don't know if where we're standing, if they will still spawn.
Probably not.
And that's what I got to figure out what to do. Like, that was just a test to see if that would actually work. So I probably have to make it be farther, the water stream, push them out farther before it drops them. Because you have to be a certain distance away, right? There's like a sweet spot.
Yeah, you had to be close enough and yet far enough.
That just makes it hard. Oh, your building looks a lot better from over here, though.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to build another one.
Yeah, it's got some definition. Now the question is, do you build the other one out of stone, or do you build it out of like what's something else that looks like diorite or something that's similar but different?
Yeah, that's a good question. Is there another brick type? Is there another?
Let's look at the little book.
You can't search the book there.
Oh yeah, you can't search the book, huh? There's polished diorites, but you need a bunch of diorite for that. Mossy stone brick. There's that.
No. I guess there's nether brick. It doesn't.
Oh, chiseled stone.
Chiseled stone.
Put together 2 stone brick slabs, and it becomes chiseled stone.
Oh yeah, I'm using some of that in
are you?
this actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like. It does not look like there's anything else. I'm trying to think of something you could actually have easy access to. Like mossy stone, you definitely could, but I don't think you'd want to build a whole building on a mossy stone.
No. I mean, again, I'm using mossy in this. Nether brick, maybe. It might be too big of a contrast, though.
Possibly. I mean, sandstone would probably be too big of a contrast as well.
Are there sandstone bricks?
Yeah. I believe.
They look like these?
The smooth sandstone. There's regular sandstone. No, I don't remember if there actually is sandstone bricks or not. Am I just making that up?
Well, I think we've done good today. Done good work.
Well, hi, spider. You didn't think so? Boom! In the face. All right.
All right. I'll see you guys later.
See ya.
Thanks for watching.